Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. We have new knives from Migron. Now, I don't know if these are going to be premium or if they're going to be, budget. The boxes don't seem to perfectly indicate which ones. I thought I had a handle on that, but I've seen them send budget knives in what appear to be premium boxes and premium knives in what appear to be budget boxes. So we'll find out. What's most intriguing is the post-HRC increase Migron knives. Migron, moving forward, according to Taylor, who's been testing all of their stuff and in direct communication with them, has not only increased their HRC dramatically, by the way, of their D2 steel. Old HRC was like 58 to 60. Their new HRC was like 62 to 63 without dramatically increasing the price on the knives that they were implemented on. I mean, that's incredible. Truly incredible. They created one of, if not like the best dollar-for-dollar budget knives of all time in the Karak. They also plan to do this with their premium steels and other steels that they do, like their 14C28N. I think they also utilize LMAX, occasionally Vane M390. So that's a pretty big deal if they plan to keep their prices the same. So I'm moving forward with Migron, assuming that they have moved forward with this HRC increase. Now, we'll continue to see Taylor do additional testing to confirm this. Taylor will be down in the comments, and if he's not there, his website is posted at the very bottom of my description. You guys can go see his most recent HRC tests and the data associated with it there on his website. Thanks so much to Migron for sending these in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. So this is the original version of this knife, the Vane, right? This is the Vane 2. So this is an upgraded variation of it, right? Presumably. And there are two of these, so we're probably going to have two different aesthetics here, maybe two different, kinds of materials or whatever. Part of me is kind of really hoping that this is a budget knife. Not that it's bad if it's a premium knife, but I see it is going to go and be a premium knife, which is fine. But, oh no, I remember this one. So this is okay, let's take a look here. Crossbar lock, contoured diamond textured titanium. We have M390. So, assuming that this has been increased, I would like, if Migron is actually down in the description, I would like Migron to tell us what their target HRC range is. And if they're not down there, use the link. I'll have this linked down in the description. Use the link and see if their listing is, obviously by the time I posted this, I will know. But if you want to check for yourself, see what the website lists their HRC range as, their new HRC range. Because I remember the lowest range that was ever shown on their website for previous models. It used to say 58 to 60. Then it was bumped up, well, sometimes depending on the model, it would say 58 to 61. And then for a little tiny period of time, I believe with the Vacor, the titanium and M390 Vacor, it said 59.5 to 61. And then it said 60 to 62 or 60 to 61. So, when I'm thinking of a bump up, I'm hoping for a bump up to my minimum standard. Obviously, everybody has a different minimum standard, but my minimum standard is 60. I love to see 60 to 62 bare minimum from any company. So, what we have here is a contoured, diamond textured titanium frame, crossbar lock. We have a pocket clip that is ambidextrous. So you can flip it over and put it on the other side, as you should be able to. We have a DLC-coated M390 blade, and if I remember correctly, on a model that had a pretty amazing price tag to begin with. So if they're hitting all of this at, I would say, they're hitting the right HRC numbers, 200 or less, I'd say that's pretty competitive. Right, Artisan Cutlery does some pretty amazing stuff with S90V at about $200, right? So if Migron is able to hit or check all of these boxes on this model at 200 or less, something tells me they might be actually less. Then what we have here is definitely kind of almost like their benchmade Griptilian or a Ritter Hogue, right? We have a winner there. Let's see what this other variation is here real quick. It does feel a little lighter, but that could be in my head. What do we have? Is it in my head? It is. Oh, look at this special boy. Oh, so you have the entire thing. What? There it is. Oh, it just came off. You have the entire thing textured and lightning anode, which is really, really cool. That's actually a really nice look. A lot of times with both Timascus and lightning anode, which is not Timascus, but it kind of has a similar look, a lot of companies will not anodize it because they don't like how it looks. I think it looks awesome. I think textured Timascus and textured lightning anode look really good. And especially in the case of lightning anode, it's a really nice way to dress your knife up without having to pay more for a hybridization of material, right? The titanium Damascus is two or more compositions of titanium that are different and anodize at different rates, right? That's more expensive. The lightning anode is a surface anodizing. But it looks really nice. If you want something that's colorful and exotic looking, it looks really nice. And the texturing, I think, actually adds to it. I think that's really cool. So Migron is doing a lot of stuff that I have preached, you know, and years ago, what Migron's doing now, years ago, I would have said, yeah, it'd be nice if we could get all of this stuff in one company, but it's probably not going to happen. Not only did it happen, but multiple companies proved that it was possible, even with, you know, even living in a world where everything is getting more and more and more and more expensive. People like me who refuse to, you know, shift the goalposts or make the goalposts wider, making things easier for these companies. We're stubborn and we don't want to say, okay, now, you know, everything is acceptable. We're going to boost like the minimum competitive price tag by like $50 to make it more fair. No, I refuse to do that. And companies like Migron are proving me right for doing so, because Migron is able to produce all of this stuff with incredibly tight tolerances, very dependable systems, right? Just really, really good overall fit and finish. Lots of different designs, lots of different aesthetics. And now, I mean, their geometry's always been really good too. I think their factory edges are nice. But now, even their HRC is not meeting the average expectation of the well-informed consumer in the knife world. It's exceeding it. I mean, like, you know, I mean, there's plenty of people can argue against heat treating D2 to 62 to 63, right? I mean, that gets really hard. It's not going to be perfect for everybody. But I don't think anybody actually expected them to do that. I didn't expect it. I mean, if you had told me like, hey, Migron's going to, you know, not hardly change the price at all, and their D2's going up to 62 to 63, I'd have said, well, you're high. They're not going to do that. That's crazy. Like, maybe they'll bump it a point. But they did. So Migron is actually one of those companies that will do all of these different things. They will offer budget knives. They'll offer premium knives. They'll offer knives in the mid-range. They will use titanium where we typically don't see titanium in terms of price. They will use M390 where we typically don't see M390 in terms of price. Even Vane, right? They're willing to contour, to texture, to use inlays, to use different fun exotic materials. They will make knives that are completely and totally functional and normal and utilitarian, and they'll also make really, really crazy stuff, right? The perfect consistency with Migron, the one thing that is always perfectly consistent is the fact that their prices are hyper competitive. They really do keep themselves lower than most of the other reputable brands. I'm not talking about the random ghost phantom, you know, Amazon brands that are kind of a dice roll. But they're super consistent for a reputable company. And so now having their HRC bumped up in all steels that they utilize, it just makes them that much more appealing. These knives are made in China, which not everybody wants to, you know, purchase a knife that's made in China. That's fine. You can have your own reasoning. But if you're okay with a knife that's made in China, there's never been a bigger reason or a better reason to try Migron. I've been talking about them for a long time and been critical of areas where they deserve to, you know, have criticism applied. That big one again, the HRC. So now that they're there, now that they're doing that and they're, you know, making different variations of past models, making new models, right? Basically just being as accessible as they possibly can for the widest range of people. Yeah, check them out. Whether your budget is $30 or your budget's $250, They do have some stuff that goes higher, but it's like the wild overbuilt stuff. Right around there, anywhere in there, Migron is extremely competitive. And these look great, these new variations of these knives. I've reviewed this knife. You can check it out if you want to. But yeah, really good. Where does this lock bar engage? Or not the lock bar, the stop pin. The one thing that I would say, you know, because I don't want to sit here and just like glaze them for everything if it's undeserving. But the one thing that I wish we'd pay more attention to is exactly. Now this doesn't affect me, but that doesn't mean that it won't affect other people. The stop position for that pin is like right here, right? So it won't take too many sharp, well, depending on who you are, and how many is a lot, right? You'll have to remove like 1/8 of an inch of material before you have to basically stop sharpening this last little bit, because that's where the pin engages. Now, there's absolutely no reason that this pin could not be moved back and just shoved into a little divot that's carved out like right here. I mean, there's no reason. Like, you literally could just carve out a little divot right here, and that little pin could be in its own little place that has absolutely nothing to do with this area, because it's not like you're going to try and sharpen way back. Like, once this goes up, you're not going to come in here. That's crazy. Like, just give it its own little area. We need to be watching that, because these pins being really close, again, not going to affect somebody like me who's going to very casually use a knife like this and rotate it in with dozens of other knives. I mean, me, literally hundreds of other knives, but you know, somebody like me, dozens of other knives. No, they're never going to sharpen away enough material for that to be a problem. For the people who are going to sharpen away enough material for that to be a problem, yeah, we should consider them, even if they are a smaller percentage of the buying audience, right? And for those people who do, right, especially if you're newer and you've heard about this complaint before, why don't we want that, you know, that closed position stop so close to the edge? Well, because eventually you'll sharpen away the material that's meant to support it in the closed position, and that blade will sink lower into the frame. Does that mean that the knife is completely and totally useless? No. But the way people complain about it, I can understand why you would think that. Oftentimes people will complain about it without offering to explain themselves, so I will. If you just don't sharpen anymore past a certain point, then it's fine, and you can continue to sharpen. Like if you just make a sharpening tool right here, or you just stop, right? The problem is that it leaves that area a little ugly. You're going to have like a 1/16 of an inch worth of material where it widens out and sort of smiles. And if you continue to only sharpen the, you know, a portion past that little amount, then you've got this initial like block of dull metal, like again, like a 1/16 of an inch max, and then it goes to your sharpened edge. So it's, rather than being a like a world-ending crisis, it's a mild annoyance. But some people, you know, to them it's absolutely like a deal breaker. So it just depends on your perspective. If you sharpen a lot and you've ever dealt with this before, you might have a stronger opinion on it. If you're like me and you use a lot of different knives, or you use knives very casually, it will probably never affect you. So it really just depends on who you are. But anyways, aside from moving that stop pin, which again, Migron, that's something that we should consider for each individual model, and you should just move them back and into their own little divoted area. That should be something that we look at every single time. But other than that, I think these are great, and I fully expect the price tag to be amazing. So links in the description for these guys. That's going to be it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.